From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew.
Hello and welcome to episode 149 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. I'm Ed Green and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Warren Carr, Austin Pinto, Fee Dunn, Doug Cameron and Sally Kunders. And we are coming to you on Saturday the 14th of October 2023. 149, you can just slide your finger down the left-hand side of your keypad, obviously. On this episode, we have our usual announcement section. In our Android Basics, we're going to talk about the connected device section of Samsung settings. And in the spotlight, John and Warren are going to unbox their Google Pixel 8 Pros, and I'm going to commiserate with them. Well, how are we all? Warren, what's going on?
Nice weekend coming my way, or rather it's a nice weekend that I'm observing. And with that Pixel 8, I'm playing with that thing. It's such a beauty. If you haven't gotten one, you need to get one. That's my little plug in there for the Pixel 8 Pro.
Darling Doggish Nookums, what's going on in Alberta?
Not a lot. I'm just, upgrading. So I'm now, flipping off that Pixel 8. But it's nice and cool. Probably a little bit too cold. And, just keeping it calm this weekend.
Nice. Austin in Mumbai, you'll be a happy boy because of the cricket, I think.
Yeah, actually, Mumbai is very hot now. The rain is gone. But actually, India has done a very good start to the World Cup. First, we beat Australia, which was not a good start batting-wise. But then we blasted Afghanistan. And then today was the best day ever where we blasted Pakistan and beat them at the World Cup. So tomorrow, England and Afghanistan. So, Ed, what do you think about tomorrow? I think it's going to be a one-sided game.
It should be. It should be a fairly one-sided game, shouldn't it? Yeah, I think. But yeah, looking forward to that. Sally Salkins, what's happening in Samsung's Fair City?
It's been good in city, but we lost the guy getting cold. I have from Wednesday. I'm just staying in bed just to get recovered. And thanks God, today I'm feeling really good, and hopefully Sunday tomorrow will be much better. And I'm looking for him. Yeah.
And what about the Yanak? Were they pale during the cold? Were they goose pimply? Or what was going on with the Yanak specifically?
Well, they were burning.
They were. Oh no! There's a fever Yanak.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, we've had lots of rain this week, and today we've had some sun, but it's very cold. It's like we've suddenly gone from late summer to winter time or certainly very cold autumn in a day. So yeah, I went out for a walk earlier on, and that was it was nice to get fresh air, and it was also nice to get indoors again. I'm on prayer duty at church tomorrow, so I'll have some prayers to write later on. Yeah, that's about it from me, I think, this week.
Nice. Glad everyone is doing relatively well and that Sally is on the road to recovery. John, how are you? What's going on? I know you're very sad because you made a mistaken purchase, but
Oh, well, I corrected it, so I was... Oh, no, I didn't make... Now I get your joke. I'm not regretting it yet. So, but yeah, it's been a good week. I've enjoyed getting a new toy, and the weekend is pretty rainy here, but fall is finally here, so I can't complain. Fall weather is in the air, football's in the air, so I'm happy.
I think he told us everything that you meant to tell us, and you enjoyed the getting of the toy. The actual having of the toy is a disappointment, though, isn't it? You don't really like it, do you?
Stay tuned and find out.
So how are you, Ed?
No, I'm all right, thank you, Austin. I was a little bit ill earlier in the week. I'm not sure if it's because I had my COVID and flu jabs, but it seemed to last a bit longer than I would have thought the side effects from those would. So perhaps I contracted something at the same time. But I'm all right now. All is well. I was back at work yesterday before the end of the week, but yeah, not bad.
When did you have the jabs?
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I've heard that the latest jab, COVID jab, is a bit. Some people it's affecting some people a bit more. So it could have been that.
I'd have thought it'd be clear by Tuesday, though, but it wasn't. I mean, I had flu at the same
Oh no,
time.
I've had effects from COVID jabs and being tired and things for a good few days sometimes. So
maybe it was the jabs then. But all was well. I worked from home on Friday to at least do something. But today I'm all right.
Oh, good.
This is Android Basics, in which we bring you up to date on the things that you should know to use your Android phone.
Now we'll turn to our Android Basics section, where we look at the next part of the Samsung system settings, and this is connected devices. And it's over to Warren.
As we continue with our journey through the One UI from Samsung, we are in the system settings again, and today we'll be taking a look at connected devices. I am in the system settings and will now tap on connected devices.
Connected devices, quick share, Samsung DeX, Android Auto, 5 of 28.
Here we are, and let's go ahead and tap here.
Connected devices. Navigate up, button, out of list.
I am now in the connected devices screen, and let's go through the items that we have here, and when I'm done, then the podcast crew will comment or deliberate on some of these things. Here's what we got.
Connected devices. Quick share, 1 of 12, in list, 12 items.
The first item we come across is the quick share, basically nearby share. I'll tap here to show you what I'm talking about.
Quick share, navigate up, button, out of list.
And putting my finger down.
Upload your contacts to make more of their devices available when you share. Details.
And so the first thing we hear is talking about I could have my contacts so I could share these things. And then below that, toward the right, we got
Not now, button.
Not now, or
Upload contacts, button.
Upload contacts. So basically, in order for this to work, you would be connecting your stuff to your Samsung account. And below Upload contacts, it says my Gmail account.
Samsung account, warcare@gmail.com.
And below that, we got
Phone name, Warren's S21, edit phone name.
There's my phone name, and I could edit my phone name basically to show when I'm sending something to someone. And below that, we have a header that says
Nearby sharing, heading, 1 of 3, in list, 3 items.
And below that,
Who can share with you, contacts only, 2 of 3.
And here we have who can share with you, and the default is contacts only. Now, if you want to change it to everybody, then you have to tap here and go choose everyone. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Who can share with you? Radio button, not selected, no one, out of list.
We got no one, and
Radio button, selected, contacts only. Only Samsung account users in your contacts can share things with you.
next,
Radio button, not selected, anyone nearby can share with you.
and below that.
Devices signed into your Samsung account can always share with you.
In other words, if you have other Samsung devices, you could use this in sharing with those devices. And below that, we have
Cancel, button.
cancel. And the reason is because I haven't chosen anything other than the default. If I'd chosen something else, then there will be an OK or whatever. I'll now go back.
Quick share. Who can share with you? Contacts only, 2 of 3, in list, 3 items.
The next item below this will be
Show available devices on share panel, switch, on, 3 of 3.
We come across a toggle, a switch, basically, that you could turn on and off that will show devices that are nearby that you can share with. Next.
Sharing with contacts, heading, 1 of 11, in list, 11 items.
We got the heading that says sharing with contacts, and below that we got
link sharing history, sent today, 0B, 5.00 gigabytes, 2 of 11.
And it's telling me nothing was sent today.
Use Wi-Fi only, switch, off, 3 of 11.
We come across use Wi-Fi only and it's off by default. That is, if I don't turn this on, it means I could do the sharing whether I'm on Wi-Fi or on a mobile data.
Auto-delete expired files, off, 4 of 11.
And I could tap or toggle this on to auto-delete those. By default, it is not turned on.
Private sharing, heading, 5 of 11.
We now come across private sharing, and below here we got
private sharing history, 6 of 11.
We got a private sharing history, so if I go here, I'll see things that I've shared privately. I guarantee that I haven't done any private sharing, so no need to go in here. Next.
Set expiration, 2 days, 7 of 11.
And I can set the expiration, say, hey, this thing can disappear in X amount of time. By default is 2 days. Next.
Private number.
And next one is telling me my private number, basically my sharing private number. And I don't think I want to make that out there publicly, do I? Next.
Privacy. Heading, 9 of 11.
We come across privacy, and here's what we got.
Privacy notice, 10 of 11.
Privacy notice.
About quick share, 11 of 11.
And the last item here is about quick share. Let's now go back to the previous screen.
Connected devices. Quick share, 1 of 12, in list, 12 items.
I am back to the previous screen and we landed back on that quick share, and progressing from here, here's what we got.
Auto switch buds, 2 of 12.
Auto switch buds, which means if you have the Samsung buds, for example, you can choose to have them automatically switch on and all of that. I don't have any, but I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Auto switch buds. Navigate up, button, out of list.
And near the top, we got a toggle.
Automatically switch your Galaxy Buds from another device to this phone when you make a call, answer a call, or play media.
And below that,
both the other device and this phone must be signed into the same Samsung account. Your buds must have connected to this phone at least once before.
Okay.
Buds to switch to this phone, heading, 3 of 6.
And here would be the list of buds to switch to, and I don't use earbuds and all of that, so I can guarantee you that we're not going to see anything in my list. Here's what I'm talking about.
No paired Galaxy Buds, 4 of 6.
There we go. And below that will be your Samsung
account. Connected devices. Auto switch buds, 2 of 12, in list, 12 items.
I went back to the previous screen, and from here, the third item we come across is
call and text on other devices, 3 of 12.
Call and text on other devices. So basically, you could enable this so that you could make and receive calls or do texting on other devices. But the rule has to be that you have to at least have a SIM card in this phone that you'll be serving it from. And I don't have a SIM card in this, so I cannot do that. Next.
Continue apps on other devices, 4 of 12.
Continue apps on other devices, meaning you could continue with apps on other Samsung devices. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Continue apps on other devices. Navigate up, button. Pick up where you left off on other devices signed into your Samsung account. Just tap the icon that appears on the recent screen on your other devices. Supported apps, Samsung Internet, Samsung Notes. You can also copy text, images, and more on this phone and paste them on your other devices. Both devices need to have this feature and Bluetooth turned on. The devices also need to be connected to the same Wi-Fi network. In list, 3 items.
And so it's telling us how it works, and basically, if you enable this, then what would happen is that On your other devices, when you go to the recents or whatever, you'll see the apps or whatever that you've shared with the other devices. And you can just pick up on that one. So, for example, if you're browsing something on this device and then you go downstairs or go some other place and got another Samsung device, for example, and provided it's signed into your Samsung account, you could just pick up from where you left and continue with your work. And below that, it just says your email address. So meaning it will have to be on that same account and you must be connected to Wi-Fi. Let's go back.
Connected devices. Continue apps on other devices. 4 of 12. In list, 12 items.
And to the right of it, you have the switch on and off.
Continue apps on other devices. Switch on.
And next,
Link to Windows. 5 of 12.
Link to Windows, something we'll be talking about. And so basically, what this means is that you could just link your device to your computer, for example, your Windows computer. Let's quickly go in here so you'll see what I'm talking about.
Link to Windows. Splash screen heading loading. Out of list.
Okay?
Use your phone from your PC.
And it tells us to use your phone from your PC.
Use your favorite phone apps. Respond to texts. Make calls. View photos. And more on your PC.
And below that,
Link your mobile device and PC. Button.
link your mobile device.
I don't have a Windows PC. Button.
And or I do not have a Windows PC.
Privacy statement. Link.
Then we got a privacy statement, and that's the last item in there. I'm going to go back.
Connected devices. Link to Windows. 5 of 12. In list, 12 items.
And to the right of that is that on-off switch, and by default is not turned on.
Link to Windows. Switch off.
Next,
Multi-control. 6 of 12.
the next item we come across is the multi-control. Let's go in here and take a quick look at what this refers to.
Multi-control. Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
Here's the information that we got.
Use the keyboard and mouse connected to one Galaxy device to control all your other Galaxy devices and drag and drop files between them. To connect, devices need to have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and multi-control turned on. How to connect to a Galaxy Book or tablet? Go to the multi-control settings on your Galaxy Book or tablet to connect them to your phone.
There you go. And to the right of that, we have that familiar on-off switch, and by default, this one is turned on.
Multi-control. Switch on.
The next item we come across,
Samsung DeX. 7 of 12.
next we come across Samsung DeX. That's D-E capital X. So basically, you probably heard about this, and basically the whole idea is to make your phone turn into like a desktop computer. We'll go in here and see what I'm talking about.
Samsung DeX. Navigate up. Button. Out of list. Get a powerful desktop experience from your phone. Cast DeX wirelessly or use a cable to connect to a monitor or TV. Out of list.
And below that, we have a toggle.
Auto start when HDMI is connected. Switch off. 1 of 2. In list, 2 items.
And by default, that is off. And then we got
Start DeX. Button. Out of list.
Start DEX at the very bottom. Let's go ahead and go back to the previous screen.
Connected devices. Samsung DeX. 7 of 12. In list, 12 items.
Next, we come to Smart View, which is, in other words, the usage of a casting. And Samsung, of course, always has to call something different, and so is the Smart View. Here's what I'm talking about.
Smart View. 8 of 12.
If I tap here, for example,
Smart View. More options. Button. Out of list. Phone to other device. Select a device to mirror your phone's screen or play content.
and that's what that is. Let's go back.
Connected devices. Smart View. 8 of 12. List. 12 items.
Next, we come across
Galaxy Wearable. 9 of 12.
Galaxy Wearable. Basically, if you tap on this, it's going to manage your watch. It'll connect to your watch and all of that. So I don't have one with me, and so I'm not going to go into this.
Smart Things. 10 of 12.
we come across smart things. So think of it like the Google Home. And this is where you can control things like lights, washers, whatever, things like that. Here's what I'm talking about.
Smart things. Control your devices, out of list.
And putting my finger down.
Monitor and control smart TVs, light bulbs, appliances, and other devices.
And
Automate your devices.
there's the automation of devices.
Make devices respond to conditions, like turning on the lights when a door opens.
And
Make your life smarter.
make your life smarter.
Add services to do even more with your devices. By continuing, you agree to the privacy notice.
And there at the bottom, to the left, you have the Close app.
Close app button.
And to the right of that,
Continue button.
Continue button. I will now go back to the previous screen.
Connected devices. Smart things. 10 of 12. In list. 12 items.
Now let's move on to the last item.
Android Auto. 11 of 12.
We have Android Auto, and basically it has to do with car connectivity. And so if you go in here, it will show you all the things that you can do with the car and all of that. Let me show you what I'm talking about by tapping here and sample some of the items that we find here in that Android Auto.
Android Auto. Navigate up button. Out of list.
Putting my finger down near the top, we got
In list. Connect a car button.
Connect a car.
Connection help.
There's a connection help.
Previously connected cars.
You can look at your previously connected cars.
General. Disabled.
Then we have something that says General and it's disabled.
Customize launcher. Choose which apps show in Android Auto and how they appear in the car screen launcher.
So you could tap here to choose which apps should appear on your Android Auto. Next.
Hey Google. Detection. Hands-free voice commands.
And you can go in here and customize how that interact with that Android Auto.
Day-night mode for maps. Automatic.
Next.
Start Android Auto automatically. Default set by the car.
And so you could set it to start automatically as soon as you enter the car. Next.
Start Android Auto while locked. Access to your phone features will be available on the car screen while locked. Switch on.
Nice. Next.
Start music automatically. Automatically start media when you start driving. Switch on.
Pump that music on. Next.
Google Assistant. Set your weather, home, work locations, and more for your Google Assistant.
And that has to do with the assistant and how you would like things like weather and all of that to appear on your Android Auto. Next.
Taskbar widgets. Show quick controls for apps. Switch off.
Next.
Driver seat location. Default set by the car.
And you could choose which one it is. That is the driver's seat. And if you are in the UK, you're probably sitting on the wrong side. Next. Ed, I'm looking at you.
Change layout. Navigation closer to driver.
Next.
Notifications. Disabled.
Notifications. Next.
Show conversations. Switch on.
So conversations, say you're texting with someone, whatever the case may be, you could turn those on or off.
Show group conversations. Switch on.
Next.
Show first line of conversations. Switch off.
And you could say, hey, show the first lines of the conversation on or off. It's totally up to you. Next.
Play conversation chime. Switch on.
And you could make it play a chime when a conversation comes in.
System disabled.
And we hear system disabled.
About disabled.
About.
Privacy policy explains how Google handles your information when you use Google services.
Okay.
Safety, data, and legal notices, important information about safety in Android Auto.
Next.
Version 10.4.633624 release.
And that's the last item here. Let's go back.
Connected devices. Android Auto, 11 of 12, in list, 12 items.
And that would be the last item. Of course, the one at the bottom, the 12th item here would be, are you looking for something else?
Looking for something else.
And that's it. I'll now hand it over to the podcast crew as we deliberate on these things.
Thank you, Warren. I mean, Samsung do some funny things in this, don't they? I mean, I know John's a big Samsung user. I mean, a couple of the ones that struck me, the apps one, where you hand off apps to other devices, and that's sort of all right. But some apps do that anyway, don't they? Without help from Samsung, I'm thinking like Telegram, in particular. So it's an interesting setting. This, I mean, I guess it's good it exists, but that was one of the things that struck me.
Well, I think that, yeah, but I mean, Telegram is just an outlier, or else most of the time, a lot of apps wouldn't do that. So, but I think Samsung is doing something good because if I have another device and, maybe the battery is dying and I jump on another one, I should be able to pick up from where I left. And so, like we've always said, Samsung always has something good going on, but too many times we don't give them credit enough, even though I'm not a Samsung fanboy. But I like a lot of the things that they're doing, and I give credit where credit is due. And I actually really like that. I wish I had that on my Pixel, especially I think the one that I like the most is being able to, have the same text sync across my devices. I know Google's working on that or has implemented that. I haven't quite seen it yet, but to me, I think that's probably one of the biggest ones. And like when I want to do things on my computer, for example, and it wants me to turn off RCS in order to be able to have the text sync between my phone and my computer, and my response is, heck no, I'm not going to do that. Why do I have RCS in the first place? And why would I want to turn it off just because I want to be able to do it on the computer? So what I noticed is that if I send a text message from my computer and I go to the messaging app on my phone, it will not show there, and vice versa, unless, of course, I turn off that RCS. So I don't like that. So I think I like what Samsung is doing here.
I don't really like RCS. I have RCS turned off, but yeah, I can see if you do like RCS, that'd be very annoying.
Can I just check for me and listeners, what is RCS?
Rich communication system.
It's not very catchy, is it?
It is. You are rich. You don't like money, Fee. What's the deal with you, girl?
It's not so much I don't like it, I just haven't got any.
Nothing to do with RCS, but my favorite technology acronym ever. The one they used to have with scanners. Do you remember Twain?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what Twain stood for?
No.
Technology without an interesting name.
Really? Or have you just made that up?
That's BS.
It's not. It's true. Look it up. You literally can look that up. It's not my BS.
Oh, really? I never knew what that was.
That is what Twain stood for. Technology without an interesting name. Yeah,
oh my God. That's absolutely stupid.
It's brilliant. It's very funny.
Not as stupid as dongle, but
that is what Twain stood
don't even go to dongle. I love dongle.
So do I, but it's still a very silly name, and that's why I like it.
But it's more catchy than RCS, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
The dongling, huh? Yeah.
You can't forget the dongle.
No.
I have a massive dongle.
Oh dear.
Yeah, even I have.
And John, I think you've done a tip of the week on this before about how you might get Google Cast on a Samsung phone and mirroring. If you choose to mirror instead of Cast on a Samsung phone, if your computer controls the phone, because this is an issue I had on the Xiaomi. When I mirror, it's really annoying. I can't actually control my computer because everything I press controls the phone.
Yeah, it won't control it because Samsung uses Mirrorcast for their Smart View, but when you use Google's casting protocol, it won't take over it like that. It's simply sending the video and audio.
Does that happen when you use Smart View as well? It won't take over, or it does?
I'm gonna say it doesn't. I haven't tried it, but I
Yeah,
couldn't imagine it would. I
it's
think
very
it's
annoying.
just yeah.
I would
You
like
don't
to
want it.
think that it would be just like what the Google Cast does. It's basically just sending it to whatever device, and whatever you do on that device is not going to affect what's going on the phone.
Yeah, because SmartView uses Miracast, which does have control, and they actually have an app called Samsung Flow where you can cast between like your phone and your tablet, and you can have your phone screen displayed on the tablet, and you can actually, like, if you turn off TalkBack on the tablet, it'll actually do all the gestures like as if you're touching your phone from there. So it's cool when you want to use it, but when you don't want to use it, you lose control of your keyboard, not good.
So you do lose control of your keyboard then at some stage?
Oh no, not if you're casting with Google Cast. No.
No, I'm talking about Samsung Mirror, not Google Cast.
I'm
I think
not sure because I've
he
never
hasn't
had a
tried it.
keyboard.
Mm.
I've not casted to my. I've only casted to my tablet. I haven't casted to my PC.
Because on the Xiaomi, it's very annoying. You basically have to turn the phone off before you can use your computer again because it's mirroring, and it thinks you want to control your phone, and you don't. You want to operate your PC. It's like I can not be dealing with that. It's good. It's good there are workarounds though to be able to cast on the Samsung, which you've talked about before on Tip of the Week.
But for controlling stuff on the phone, wouldn't you use Link to Windows?
Oh yeah, I mean, ideally you would. What I'm talking about though is if you want to cast your phone to your computer. Let's say you want to record a demo. The unintended consequence of when you do it on the Xiaomi is that your computer keyboard controls your phone, which is not what you want. So
that sounds so annoying.
It is. That's why you had to turn your phone off. Samsung doesn't use Google Cast though, so I was wondering whether the same thing happened. You can get around it, and John's shown us how to do that on a previous Tip of the Week. But yeah, on the Xiaomi, as soon as you mirror, your computer keyboard is controlling your phone, and then you can't obviously control your PC.
I think that the Xiaomi kind of has it backward. You would think that if I'm using my computer to control the phone, I should be casting something from my phone to the computer. But if I'm casting it from the phone to the computer, it shouldn't be taking inputs from my computer. They kind of have it backward. That's absolutely silly.
It's very annoying. But
I think
Samsung does that.
I think that's what happens, Ed, when you keep getting the cat. That's all I can say about it.
You have an S21. I think you should mirror it and see what your computer does.
Yeah, that's interesting. You think Samsung does? Well, you have a Samsung.
I don't know.
Experienced the same thing with your
I can
Samsung?
try it and let you know. I actually have
Yeah.
a Samsung PC and a Samsung phone, but I haven't casted. So I'll cast and let you know. But yeah, I honestly don't know how it behaves. I'm assuming it wouldn't, but I would assume that about the Xiaomi too. So we'll find out.
Since we're talking about connected devices, I'm just wondering, I think my mum, she uses Link to Windows, and she has before now accidentally cut me off when I've rung her up. Because
well,
she
you're
said
probably
she
being
was...
really annoying and she was watching TV. Didn't want to talk to you.
No, she said she was closing down stuff on the computer. But I found that a bit weird that would cut me off. And I wondered if
Sounds like an
knew...
excuse. Like, when my mum rings me, I go, the battery signal's gone. You don't think
she rang me back, so it wasn't.
Okay. So
Yeah,
she didn't want to talk to you.
She must have closed because you can like control your Android apps from your computer. So maybe she closed the phone app from the computer, is my guess, or whatever app you were talking to her in.
So if you close that, it won't just carry it on the phone. It will actually close it on your phone as well. I see.
Well, because
Okay.
I'm thinking if you're closing it out, you're closing out the source or whatever, because ideally the whole idea is that, you're having this thing on, but it shouldn't have done that though, because I'm thinking of it like, uh, you know, if I'm calling someone from my computer, for example, I use Google Wireless. And when I call someone which is using the same whatever from my phone, the same service from my phone, I can shut down my phone. It has no effect on it. And I can do everything entirely from the computer. So I don't know why that happened to you between you and your mom. It's kind of
Yeah, it was
odd.
weird because it was just the phone. Like I just rang her on a normal phone number. It wasn't Skype or anything like that. It was just normal phone call. It was very strange.
Although presumably there is a point where you want to take an active decision to close something, and it should close.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that.
Or maybe I
Like,
wonder what
you
the
might want to
end
cut someone
call
off at some point.
icon looks
Yeah.
like. Whether it looks similar to a close button or something like, because she's mum sighted, so maybe it's something like that. I don't know.
Now, I make some joke about you guys in the UK there in the order section of the Android order. And I kind of, I'm like, well, Ed, I'm looking at you. You're sitting on the wrong
The
side.
driver's seat. Yeah. We drive on the right side of the road.
No, we don't. We drive on the left
right
side.
as in the correct side of the road. Yes.
No, you
One
don't.
thing I was interested, and I doubt anyone can answer this. There's a thing on Android Auto that says you can have conversations displayed effectively on the car display. I wonder how that interacts with the setting around not showing sensitive content on the lock screen. Like, will the Android Auto setting override that?
I don't think
'Cause obviously,
it would override because you have controls. You have the notification section in there. So I think one should be able to kind of, choose what not to show. I haven't done, Android
yeah,
Auto.
but it
Um,
says show conversations, doesn't it? So
My
it
guess
looks
would be
like
that
it
it
would.
does override it in the
Yeah,
same
I
way.
think it
Like
does.
if you have headphones connected and you have them set to announce notifications, they'll still announce them even if it's not being displayed on your lock screen.
Yeah, my sense it would override it because, which is interesting because obviously you might have several people in the car who can see that screen.
Yeah,
that
well, that
could
would be wrong.
awkward.
I don't think that that would be so wrong because
No, I think John's right. I think that auto setting would override sensitive content. It looks like
but
it does.
you have the
Yeah.
ability to turn it on or off. That's the
yeah,
thing.
No, I know.
that's what I'm saying, that
But it's set
it
to
would be
on by
wrong.
default, isn't it?
It should be wrong to make it seeable to everyone. One should be able to choose which one should come through and which one should
Yeah,
not come through. And I
I'm
think
talking
that's
about
how it is.
defaults though, and I think the default is on auto that is set to on, isn't it?
Well, in that demonstration I was showing, it says notification disabled. So you have to kind of enable it, manually, which ones you
Yeah,
want to see. That's
you'd
my
have to give it
assumption.
permission, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like most apps. Because some people travel on their own in the car all the time, so they might not mind. So it depends on
I don't
people's
know.
situation.
When you demonstrated it, it looked to me like it would override the sensitive content setting.
Yeah, it looks like it. And, they have some toggles in there you could turn on and off. But I think it's a nice implementation. I've been wanting to get the little Android Auto thing from Motorola that, everyone is talking about, but it always runs out. I think it's like $100 or something. And during Prime Day, I thought it was 79. I went to get it. It was gone.
What's this? That?
So it's a little device from Motorola for Android Auto. It's just, it works fabulously without the needs of, wires and things like that. And it's been one of the best auto thing that you can get for
What
Android.
Is it though?
It just pretends it's a car and you put it in a car that doesn't have Android Auto or support Android Auto? Is it like a screen?
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but there's a lot of reviews about it. I think it's called Moto, is it MA or something like that? But it's an auto thing, and you couldn't get it. It's just at Best Buy, it's out, and it's been like that forever. And now and then, you'll find it, but it's a very good order thing.
But is it for in your car?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Android Auto. Yeah. Another thing I like in here is the smart things area. You open the door and it knows you're home, and it either turns on your lights or turns on whatever that you want it to turn on. And I don't have any Samsung smart things, but it just reminds me so much of the assistant. So basically, it's doing the same thing like what the assistant would do.
Yeah, and that was inspired by Blink 182, wasn't it? As all the smart things, na 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 na.
One of these days, I need to have a duet with Ed. I almost say Austin with Ed, the model, sore-headed pixel header.
What would you call your duet, your band? Would you be the Knuckleheads?
Exactly, 2 knuckleheads.
And Keith on our email group used to be a singer.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He did. Yeah.
Neat. Well, then a big shout out to you, Keith, because I didn't know that.
This is the Spotlight segment. Stay tuned for premium interviews, device unboxing, and more.
And so now we move on to our Spotlight section, and we have an unboxing. It's a dual unboxing again, where John and Warren, who misguidedly bought Pixel 8 Pros, unbox them.
From the Blind Android Users Podcast, this is audio unboxing of the Pixel 8 Pro. I'm Warren Carr alongside here with my buddy John, and of course we're doing this again like we did last year. And so we are excited to be bringing you Christmas in October. John, I know you are so patient out there waiting for me because it takes mine longer to get to me because you guys see the sunrise before I do. And finally, I got mine right around 4:35 or thereabouts. And so here we are unboxing that Pixel 8 Pro. The only problem that we have is that we do not have a regular one to compare with. John?
Yeah, I had to make you wait a little while longer, so you waited for me, and once you got yours, I made you wait a couple more hours. But so we're even now. We're both free, and yeah, I'm excited to do it.
I figure I could wait an hour or two since you've been waiting for me like, gosh, maybe 5-6 hours. I don't know what time it was that yours got there.
I like opening it together. It's like we're a couple of brothers on Christmas morning.
Exactly. And, for me, I think I'm looking forward to the shiny paper. You remember when your kid is 1 year old, you got them a toy for their birthday or Christmas, and they dump away the toy and go for the golden Chinese wrapping paper. I think that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, you keep the wrapping paper. I'll take the phone.
John, I got my little pocket knife ready, and I got my box right there. You got your box in front of you, John?
I've got my box. I've already got my box out of the box. So
okay. So mine, nothing is out of the box. And I got my case here as well with the tempered glass. So I'm going to tear that box open, John. I can wait.
So you got the watch for free, right?
I got the watch for free. Now, however, what had happened was that because I chose the LTE version, so I paid the difference of $49.
Gotcha. So you were like, I got the big boy phone. I need to get the big boy watch too.
Exactly. Except that
it's still a woman's size.
It's still a woman, little girly, puny thing. So I don't know. I was like, hey, so I got 2 boxes here. The watch box is the fatter one, and the slimmer one, of course. And I'm not going to be unboxing my watch right now. Right now, all we're doing is unboxing that Pixel. And it's in an envelope. Take the envelope out. And then, of course, John, you want to be tearing yours? Okay, I'm going to be tearing my
Yep. I'm
little,
starting.
whatever at the bottom.
Tabs.
Little tabs at the bottom.
Okay, got mine
And
both off.
oh, you're faster than I. There we go. And but I'm gonna get my case first, John.
You
Yes.
gotta have your case ready. Are you
My
gonna put it directly in the case?
Yeah, my doctrine is as soon as I unbox it or take it out of the box, I put a tempered glass on, and then I snap it in the box. So
I have a case too. I got my usual. It's a Spigen Ultra Hybrid. It's
nice.
a clear case, so you could still see the color of the phone, and I feel like it's the perfect balance of being thin enough not to make your phone bulky and still protect it. So that's my go-to case.
I don't remember what brand mine is, but of course it's a clear case like what you got. So I'm taking the tempered glass out. And, if you're putting on a tempered glass, where you have the little tab that you pull off the sticky stuff, that part always goes to the top. So that's your orientation. And now I'm going to.
I'm passing on the tempered glass. I used to use it, but ever since these under display fingerprint sensors, I've just done away with it.
Yeah,
I know it's risky, but
I
it works so much better without
never
it.
do without tempered glass. And now I'm going to put that baby on. I've become such a pro at putting on these tempered glasses on. It's not even funny. Let's see here. And that matte back, oh, it feels good. Let's see.
Wait, you've already taken your phone out of the box?
Yeah.
I've been waiting. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I did.
Okay, I'm taking mine out too.
I did.
I will just, since I don't have to put it directly in a case like you do, I'll describe the device. It's gonna be the usual with Pixels. You know what though? It feels. You'll have to let me know next to your, because I don't have a Pixel 6 Pro, but it feels a little bit smaller to me. You'll have to let me know if it's any smaller or if it's the same size.
Okay.
All I have to compare it to is my Pixel 7, and it's only a little bit bigger than the Pixel 7. I like the size of it. I like that it has a flat screen now.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you like the curved edges or do you like flat
I never
screens?
mind the curve. I liked it, but if what we have is the flat it is I don't mind it.
Well, I'm glad it doesn't bother you because I like it way more.
Yeah.
It's I get because I've said it on the podcast before. I use my phone a lot one-handed, and those when the edges are curved, sometimes my palm touches the corner, and then my phone doesn't know what I'm doing. So
yeah,
I definitely
that
prefer
makes
a flat
sense.
screen. So I'll describe the outside of the device. It feels a little, so it's round on the edges. It's a little round. It's mostly flat, but it's got a little curvature to it. The back is flat. The screen is flat. And like you mentioned earlier, it's got that, it's not a glossy, but it's a matte feeling on the back, which I like. Now the sides feel a little more glossy around the edges. And so across the top, we have, it feels like there's maybe a microphone hole on the right. Well, somewhere on the top. And then along the side, we have the usual SIM tray near the bottom on the left side. And across the bottom, the usual microphone, USB-C port, speaker. And if you're familiar with the Pixel, you know the routine. On the right, we have the power button or the unlock button on the right, on the top, and the volume keys underneath. I shouldn't call it the unlock button because it's not a fingerprint sensor, but you know what I mean. And then the camera bar on the back.
Great. So I got all three here, John. I got the 6 Pro, I got the 7 Pro, and all of them now are in the case. Now that I put them together, it looks like you're right. The 6 Pro is the tad, feels like it's a tad longer, even though they're uh, the same kind of 6.7. It's kind of hard to explain. And then I put it against the 7, and they're kind of like toe to toe with my 7. I don't know why the 6 Pro feels a little bit bigger. Maybe it's the casing that I have, but that's all I want to say about that. So,
Must be. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we looked up the dimensions and it's a little smaller.
yeah,
I heard some reviewers say the bezels are a little thinner on this year's model, so maybe that's why, because it's the same screen size.
It is the same screen size, and it's so funny that, when I put them back to back, the other one feels a little bit taller, maybe like about a half an inch for the 6 Pro, but that's odd.
Yeah,
So
people
John,
usually complain about the top and bottom bezels of the Pixel, and I think this year they got rid of those. It's more of a uniform bezel around the edges.
so mine is in the case, it has a tempered glass. So what we want to do now, though, John, is to both turn them on. You're going to go for the new method of activating talkback, and I'll do the traditional legacy of holding the two fingers on. So let's go ahead and turn this baby on, shall we?
All right, I'm pressing my button now.
I felt some vibration.
Yep.
And I'm waiting for that thing that I refer to as a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Because until you feel that, you don't want to mess with it. That's when it's on the setup screen. So wait for that vibrating mode or that palpitation or whatever you may want to call it. I call it the heartbeat, the pulsating beat that you feel. That tells you you're now. Now I felt mine.
Yeah, mine too. So I'm going to press and hold the volume keys. Let's see. Kind of a low volume. I'm going to press them again. There we go. Welcome to TalkBack. Okay, it was just low initially. The initial message. Intended for situations or people who have difficulty seeing the screen. I'm going to back out of that. Allow Android accessibility suite to send you notifications. Allow button. Allow notifications. Welcome to your Pixel. Language. English United States button. Double tap to activate. Okay.
Great. So
back up and running.
How does it sound to you? Is it sound like compared to, does it have that boomy sound? The boomy sound, although you're not going to necessarily tell using this particular traditional voice until you switch.
Yeah, because
later on.
Exactly. Because
so-
I don't use
Yeah.
use that voice
So-
one.
Now I'm going to do that legacy mode by holding down the two fingers and see if it's still available. I hear it, but it's very low. Okay,
Yeah, I
do it
think once
again.
it starts, it's going
back
to
on.
There
go
we go.
louder. Yeah, that's how mine was too.
Welcome to TalkBack.
There we go.
Close button. Close tutorial. You can come back to it anytime in TalkBack settings.
Well, I can tell that the boomy sound has returned.
Close button.
It's different.
Allow Android accessibility suite to send you notifications. Allow. Don't allow. Welcome to your Pixel. Language. English United States button. Double tap to activate.
There we are. So, John, I would like to think, though, that this is sounding a whole lot better to me
Welcome to your Pixel.
than what the
Accessibility volume set to 57%.
Pixel 7 sounds like, because I tell you,
6:17 p.m.
that's my Pixel 7 there. Yeah, definitely. I think that boomy sound has returned, because that was the one thing one complaint that I had, against the Pixel 7.
The 7 compared to the 6?
Yes, because they took away that sound. I don't know who thought we didn't need it, but I'm glad, though, that it's back. And that's
Welcome to your Pixel.
definitely, this is gonna be sounding exactly like the Pixel 6. But I want to turn up the volume and
Welcome to
see
your Pixel.
if it distorts like the Pixel 6. I think I've maxed it out. Did I max it?
Welcome to your Pixel.
Yeah, I think I
Welcome to your Pixel.
maxed out the.
Speech rate. Links. Control. Heading. Paragraphs. Lines. Words.
Okay.
Character. Speech rate.
Okay, that's all I
Swipe up or
have
swipe
because
down to
I
adjust
haven't.
the setting.
But I have turned up the volume, I believe,
Welcome to your
all the way
Pixel.
to the top, and it's not distorting, so that's
Welcome
good.
to your Pixel.
I kind of like the feel of my phone in my hand.
Accessibility volume set to 78%.
You mean you like the feel of the case in your hand?
Language.
Yeah, exactly.
English United States button. Accessibility volume set to 100%.
There we
I don't know
go.
if I'd ever be brave enough not to have it in a case.
Welcome to your
I'll go
Pixel.
without a screen protector, but I don't know. I can't do no case.
64%.
Well, I think for me, it's all about keeping my device nice and clean. And if there's anyone, I'm a germaphobe, and so I just don't like my device kind of looking dirty. And even in the case, now and then I take it out and wipe, the tempered glass and all of that and the back, and because sometimes you got some of that dust that got in there. Now, John, I got the 1 TB, and of course, mine is the obsidian, the black. Now, the one that I really, really wanted was that porcelain. Then I realized, though, that only came in 512, and I didn't know that there was the 1 TB. It was you who told me that there was the 1 TB in the black, the obsidian. And then, you know what? I learned later on that even the blue bay or bay blue, whatever it is, also has the 1 TB, and it was already too late for me, or else that would have
Oh
been the one that I would
no.
have gotten. Yeah. But I
I'm
was beating
sorry.
myself over the head.
That's the one I got is the bay blue. And from what I can tell, it looks I'm basically completely colorblind, but I can tell that it's a light blue because it looks more white than it does black to me. So
I would love it.
it's a light blue. Yeah.
Yeah. But what had kind of made me do that was because I was afraid we were going to be experiencing what we experienced back in 2021 with the Pixel 6 series. And if you remember that, I was going for the 512, and I added it to the cart, and when I went to check out, it was unavailable. So I was rushing, and as soon as I saw that 512 in the porcelain was all going to be about the sizes, and I just didn't look at the other sizes. But thank God you told me, and I don't mind. I like the black ones, but I just think that I got too many black phones. But nah, this is absolutely beautiful. I like the phone.
It's a business phone.
It is a business phone. So 1 TB, lots of storage. Well, John, I think that will do it. And of course, guys, we're going to be doing that dual review together. And we look forward to you guys joining us for that review. And John, now we're just going to play with it, and then we'll see what happens.
Yep. Enjoy your phone.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Difficult to know how much to say about this one, folks, as you're going to review them next week. So, anything you want to say this week?
If anything, I would say is that I kind of I wish I got the Bay Blue, like we were saying during the unboxing, John and I. I was really rushing because I knew what happened back in 2021, and I didn't want the same thing happening to me because I wanted that 1 TB, and I
And
didn't
you
even
couldn't get
bother
it.
to check to see, if the Bay Blue, but the Bay Blue actually looks gorgeous. I wish I had it.
Does that have a 1 terabyte version, the Bay Blue?
Yeah, it apparently did. I didn't know that. And I would have gone with the porcelain 512 had John not told me that the obsidian one has the 1 TB.
Yeah, I wanted the Babe Blue for myself, so I said, Warren, it only comes in obsidian if you want the 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
That one.
So is that why you did that to me? That's kind of not good, bro.
No,
no,
of course.
I thought
I
you were
actually kind of feel bad now because I could have sworn, I did check, so I must have just missed it.
Oh my gosh. And so I got it. And then Friday, someone told me there's one TV in that, and it was kind of a little bit too late for me to change it. But I was
Hey,
tempted
did you double
to
check, or
cancel.
did you just believe this person? that
I
told you?
just believe the person.
Well, then now I'm not second guessing myself anymore. We'll have to go look and see what's in the
We
store.
have to go
So-
look. Yeah,
So what color did you get, Warren?
I got the obsidian, the black one. So like I said, I just kind of after a while, I'm tired of having, a lot of black phones. I mean,
Yeah.
all my 512 gigs ones, the 6 Pro, 7 Pro, both black, because that's all that Google had in that storage size. And now on the Pixel 8 Pro, then they have the 1 TB, and I thought it was only in black. And of course, John told me that. So it all goes to John. I have him to blame for
But so you
using
might
the
almost
I
obsidian.
say
stick
then.
to it though until we can prove otherwise.
Yeah, but you might also say, "Babe Blue, maybe you might, but Obsidian has a terabyte.
Exactly.
Remember, a TB is what you want.
It's
So
I think there should be a dual
Obsidian,
There goes how do it.
why
TB.
not?"
Oh God.
I think we're going to be sending people away from the podcast.
Yes. I believe that is what we call a mic drop.
You just caused
I
the
don't
preacher
think
to
it
take
is.
the Lord's
I
name in
think
vain.
we
That's how
need to
bad that
do
was.
this in episode 150.
Or
Well, that's
else,
pretty good.
if I had gotten the blue one, I would be a blue boy, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So maybe it was a
It's
good thing I didn't get it.
blue pixel without you.
You see, Warren, once you go black, you never go back.
Blue
Exactly,
pixel
Mundo.
without you.
Oh, how many beers have you had, Ed?
Oh, just having a little sing song.
I don't think he had enough, to be honest.
So what do you think of it, Warren? Have you tried out the thermometer yet?
No, I haven't, because that's going to be in the review.
Okay, well, spoiler, it doesn't work. I tried it. No. It actually, I tried to use it to measure my
But John,
temperature,
you
and it
don't
didn't
meant to
work.
put it on your private parts.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not what it's for. Okay.
Apparently, it said I was 89 degrees, and I don't think that's accurate. So yeah, you can really only use it. And they said this, to be fair, you can really only use it to measure objects at this point. And I guess if they have a way in the future, once it's FDA approved to measure your temperature, then it's probably going to use a different algorithm. Because when I put it up to my forehead,
Well, I hope it doesn't require a hardware change, because that's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
No.
So, John, tell me, did you literally put it on your forehead or just pointed it?
I
Or
tried
was
both.
there
I put
contact?
it like all the way up. It says to put it within 2 centimeters.
Okay.
So I
have
held
no
it
clue what 2
there.
centimeters is.
Well, it
That's
also
It's
like
tells
just
you.
like
it's
4
less than
inches
an
or what?
inch.
No,
it's less than an
actually, it
inch.
said 5 centimeters or 2
Oh,
inches.
5
5
centimeters
or
is
2 inches.
2 inches, yeah.
And then I tried there. I tried it completely touching. I tried it barely away, and it just kept telling me like around 89. So, which it probably was the air around my head.
Were
but,
you
that wasn't
in
much.
the were you airheaded, or were you in the house in an air conditioned?
I was in the house in an air conditioned.
89 degrees, that would be a bit worrying if it was real. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
too cold.
What's
So
the regular
if they
temp?
plan
Isn't it
to
like
have it take your
90?
temperature in the future, they're going to have to use a different algorithm.
Isn't
Yeah.
it supposed to be 98 point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
It was off
I
by 10
think
degrees.
if you're at 89, you would be dead.
Yeah.
I don't know, or you'll be coming close to it. But this is probably why it isn't intended until I think if the regulating committees approve it, then I'm sure they'll fix those type of things with software updates.
Yeah, I
and
think
things
it
like
would
that.
have to work before they'd approve it. I don't think it's the other way around.
So I just did some Googling, and these features have to actually be approved by the FDA, Canadian variant, as well as all the other country variants of the FDA before Google can actually activate it on the device in that region.
Yeah. So in other words, the reason why you're getting that measurement, John, because it's not activated.
Yeah,
And yeah.
No,
So
like
they clearly
one,
said
it
in
would
their
not be able
announcement.
to function in the United States if they weren't approved by the FDA.
Exactly.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
so the FDA has clearly approved the thermometer feature, and Google is now working on either like enhancing the accuracies or the test models that they did submit to the FDA for approval were proving to be more accurate. So for the fact that it is working, it just means that the FDA has actually approved it for function. It's not much different than the temperature feature on the Galaxy watches. They just got approved by the Canadian version of the FDA this year. So anyone who bought a Watch 5 or 5 Pro earlier in 2023, we would have just got the temperature feature accepted when the latest version of Wear OS was released. So it's all dependent on the medical approval body in the country, whether or not a feature is actually valid or not and functional in the device.
Yeah, but it might be two stages. It might be, yes, we approve that you can have a thermometer, but we don't say it's accurate.
Yeah,
then
and
they
that's
might
where
have
they
another
would need
stage where they saying
exactly.
No,
And
yes,
at
yes.
that
Now
point,
we say it's accurate too.
at that point, they would be regulated to have a notice when you go to use the feature, informing you that this is an potentially unstable, or this measurement is not to be considered accurate, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we all know that not everybody does that, but that would be a requirement by especially the FDA.
Yeah, but Google itself did say they're still waiting for the FDA to. So right now, though, all you can do is maybe measure other objects, but definitely not your body temperature.
You're listening to the Blind Android Users podcast.
Yeah, but at least you can measure your, how hot your tea is or whatever. But like we were saying last week, was it last week? I have the thing in my hand. I know how hot it is. I don't need to use a phone to tell me whether my tea is hot or it's not hot.
So if you can measure the temperature of tea, can you measure someone else's temperature then? Because it's not you, because that's an object, isn't it?
No, it's a person.
Well, no, but the phone doesn't know that.
People aren't objects.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, well, it's an object.
Well, maybe you are.
It's not you, but like some other person. Can you measure some other person? Like if it...
No. That's brilliant.
No, it doesn't know. The phone doesn't know, does it? We're not using the camera.
Yeah.
Like, whack it against the cheek.
Well, I think something would tell it this is a human. It knows.
How would it? What would tell it? What would tell it? There's no camera.
Well, there's a camera back there. It's right by the camera.
Yeah, but it's not using the camera, is it? Like it needs to tell us if it is. I don't think it does it?
John, did the camera come on?
I think it doesn't have camera access.
Maybe
no, I would think it did not.
I had to grant access to the temperature sensor, but that's all.
Yeah. So you can't measure your own. You can measure someone else.
So is it on the back, John?
Yeah, it's along the camera bar all the way to the right if the camera bar is facing you.
Right.
So I have a limerick about the Pixel 8 Pro and one of our co-hosts that I think the listeners would be interested in. But I recognise it's not all about me. There's a silly old boy called John Dyer who fell in the trap to be a Pixel 8 buyer. His phone was so crap he didn't just double tap, he disposed of it in his brand new air fryer.
All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us.
And that's it for this week, folks. Austin, how can people get in touch with us?
To contact us, you can send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. You can join our mailing list by sending an email to blind Android users plus subscribe at groups.io. You can join our Telegram, Facebook, Discord, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The links for everything will be at the bottom of the show notes and also in the video description of the YouTube channel. And also the links are in the websites panel of the YouTube channels.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us, folks. This is the one where you could run your finger down the left-hand side of your numpad. But thank you for listening. Let's say goodbye to the lovely people, folks.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We love you. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.